What's going on, everybody? It is your humble YouTube live stream host, Tim, back with another live stream. It feels like it's been forever, and that's for one very good reason. It has been forever, okay? It has been a while since your boy sat down in his computer chair in front of the wall and just talked. Been a while since we live streamed. So this evening, I had the opportunity. I'm back home. Figured I would jump on. We would just have a little chat. Okay. I did a short a few days ago about living life on easy mode, and it got a lot of views, got a lot of response. Someone was like, "You should do a live stream about that." So I was like, "You know what? That's a good idea." So I listen. I'm in the comment section. If it's a good idea, I'm down for it. Especially if it like saves me some work of having to figure out what to talk about. So yeah, that's what we're going to do this evening. But first and foremost, I just wanted to say hello to everybody out there. I missed y'all. I missed y'all. Been working, been traveling. Um, and this time of year, I typically kind of, you'll notice the OGs who've been around for a while. This time of year, I typically kind of like take a break. You know what I mean? So not as many videos, not as many live streams, but it's wow. It just jumped from one person viewing to like 30. So thank y'all, appreciate that. What up, Siobhan? What up, Hayes? Dynamic. Yeah. So this time of year we kind of take it a little slower. I can't get outside as much as I like to a lot of times, so that kind of hampers a few of the videos. But when we have time, when we have something to talk about, we are here. And today we're here. A few more shout outs. What up, Karen? Becky, hello. Mountain State Matt, like that name. First time getting to be here live. I thought so because I was like, I would have remembered that name. So welcome, Matt. Glad you can make it. What up, Paul? Easy mode, yeah. If you didn't see the short I did, someone had posted a comment and they said that if you don't have kids, it's like you're living life on easy mode. And they wanted to like live life on difficult mode. So that's why they had kids. And I respect that. But it also felt like they were low key, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Like, for example, for me, if I was going to say something like that, I would say, I like living life on the highest difficulty. I probably would never say nothing like that. But if I was, I would just make it about me. Like I would never say anybody's life is easier than mine because I don't know what anybody's going through. So I might have said, yeah, I do certain things and it makes my life more difficult, but like that's how I like to live my life. I would never say anybody's life is easier, you know, because I don't know what people got going on. But, I thought about it. Like when people say things about me, some of it, if it's too crazy, I just immediately don't even pay any attention. But I sit and think about it. And I was sitting and thinking about what they said, and I was like, wait a second. Because I was like, am I living life on easy mode? Then I'm like, wait a second. I want to live life on easy mode. What are we talking about? And that's when I started thinking about like, it's so crazy that I think we're programmed to believe that we have to always be like doing something and we got to be being productive and our life should be hard. And that like, if we're not suffering, if we're like really enjoying life, then something's wrong. You know what I mean? I think we're programmed to believe this. And this is one of those programs that people say, if I had $1 for every time someone was like, life is suffering, and not people who are actually suffering. Well, once again, I don't know what they're going through, but like I've heard people say that, and I was like, but from what I can see, you got a lot of good going on too. You know what I mean? But I just think we've been programmed to think that life should always be difficult. I think life is innately going to be difficult for all of us at times. There's always going to be suffering. There's always going to be pain, but that doesn't have to be what life is. Life is amazing. We have this amazing life, 70, 80, 90 years on this beautiful planet. There's this thing called love. There's other amazing human beings we can interact with. There's nature. There's so many wonderful things about life. Like, why is it a problem to like enjoy that? Why is it a problem to like go through life as much as possible without struggling? Now, if you want a difficult life, that's fine too. But to like try to down somebody because they made certain choices that might mean that they have less responsibility, and say that like their life is easy, like it's a bad thing. Seems crazy to me. You know what I mean? And so that's why I had the short, and I was like, let's talk about it. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Shout out to Evelyn, uh, uh, a wifey. Shout out to Evelyn. Siobhan said she's watching. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Little Spence, how you doing? Seal, you've been told you're not a real adult because you're child free. Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of weird, toxic messaging that we get, not from all people with kids, because a lot of people with kids are very understanding, but there's like this certain subset of people with kids who just want to insult people who don't have kids. And like, I don't understand. Like, if I choose to do something because I want to do it, I got no judgment of people who don't. You know what I mean? Especially if it's now, if it's like I choose to do something good because it's the right thing to do, and then like somebody doesn't do it, I'm still not going to judge them. I might be like, you probably should have helped the old lady out of the burning building. You know what I mean? But I'm still not going to judge you. I'm just going to say I'll do it. So yeah, if it's something that like 99% of people would do, and someone doesn't do it, I'm still not going to judge them, but I might be like, But when it's something that has nothing to do with anybody else, like having kids, I don't understand why people like feel the need to put those of us who don't have them down. I just don't understand. I'm like, what is it to you? Like, you wanted kids, you have kids. You act like me not having kids means you can't have kids. You already got your kids. Why do I care? Like, why do you care? You know what I mean? Hey, Beth, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Let me acknowledge that real quick. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate the love. Appreciate that donation to the Freedom Fund. And thank you so much, Beth. First Super Chat of the night. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, I don't, maybe somebody can explain it to me. I just don't understand. If people make choices in life different than mine, I'm happy for them. Like, I don't, I'm not out here jumping on people with kids. Like, I don't, just, I don't know. It's interesting. What up, Deciduous Discipline? Appreciate you guys and people hit the like button. Oh, Monique, I'm with you. Struggle season's over. Actually, that'd be a good video title. A struggle season's over. I mean, Selwood, I do think there are hardships in life. And I do think, depending on your life up to this point, there probably are some people who think life is always hard and it's always pain, it's always suffering. I don't think that is the case for everyone. I think a lot of us have pretty good lives, but we only focus on the hard. We only focus on the struggle. And ever since I tried to adopt a regular practice of gratitude, it's been easier for me not to do that. You know what I mean? Like, the more I'm grateful, like, so many good things happen to us. Like, how many good things had to happen for us to be able to be watching this live stream, or me to be able to do this live stream? You know what I'm saying? Like, so many good things happen to us on a daily basis, and we just overlook them and act like those are things that are supposed to happen. And then when one bad thing's happen, we get a flat tire on our car and we have to change it on the side of the road, and suddenly life is pain, life is suffering. Meanwhile, you have a car, you have a job you were driving to, and you had all the tools you needed to change the tire. And there was a side of the road to change it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think so often in life, we got a lot of good going on, and we focus on the bad. And I think sometimes it is possible to have a easier mode, and my thing is this too: if up until now that has not been your reality, I think it's good for us to have conversations like this. So maybe we can look around and be like, wait a second, here's all these other people out here saying they're not really struggling like that. What can I take from them? How can I get there? Because, like, in life, you find what you look for. That is one truth I firmly believe. You find what you're looking for. So if you're out here saying, like, life is struggle, life is hard, I think you're going to continue to find that. But if we can allow ourselves to be like, you know what? I want an awesome life. I want an easy life. You know what I mean? Like, let me see how these other people are finding it, that maybe we could, stumble across it. Alvin Anthony, thank you. Super Chat Squad, always good to hear from you. I appreciate the love. Say, Tim, I believe that many people are jealous because you do not have kids, but they do. And honestly, Alvin, I don't like to say that, but I think it's true. I think it can be kids, or it can be other decisions we make in life. And then when we see other people who made a different decision that seems easier. Um, yeah, I think sometimes people get jealous of that and they lash out. But my thing is like, it's not my fault. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? It's not like once again because I didn't have kids, you magically had them. No, you did what you had to do and had. You mean? You know, like that. So I'm just like I don't understand. It's not something that like sometimes people can be jealous in life if like something bad happens to me and doesn't happen to someone else and neither one of us had control over it. I could see someone be like, dang, that's not fair, this happened to me, didn't happen to you, stuff like that. But when it's something that you actively had to like pick another human being and to have the kid, how can you be jealous of someone who didn't? Right? Like what did I do? You did more than me. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Alvin. Thank you. Yes, I think you're right. And yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Hayes coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Hayes coming, the Hayes 25 coming through with the hefty super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're here, we're talking. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the abundance. Thank y'all so much. Where we at in the chat? We're gonna talk. We're talking about this today. Don't single people get taxed more? I don't know, Gertz. I just pay what they tell me to pay. So maybe we do. All I know, people with kids seem to get a lot of money back. Anyway, no, I don't know. Lance, how you doing? 56 and child free and loving it. Oh, Monique, I like it. Here's a drink of water out of the gallon bottle. Hey, you get that agua how you can get set. What up, winner? Appreciate you saying something. Mountain States. Matt said, "I'm a good uncle. Don't think I'd be made to be a dad." I'm with you. Like I don't really get to see my nieces and nephews like that. So, I try to be a good internet uncle. But yeah, I don't know if I'd be a good. People say I'd be a good dad, but like I don't know if I have the patience to be a dad. Hey, Katie checking in from cold, wet Scotland. Okay. Stay dry and warm. What up, Fortune? Yeah, a lot of people saying, echoing the sentiment that people are maybe a little jealousy in the mix. That's a good point too, Hollywood. From my experience, I think the older generation, questions it, but they've been a lot less vocal about it. Like an older person might be like, "Oh, you don't want to have kids?" Like whereas it's been in my experience, the people my age or younger who came to me. And I think part of that might be because older people came from a generation where it was kind of expected, like you said. So when someone didn't have kids, they were smart enough to know there might have been a reason. They've probably in 60 years put their foot in their mouth a couple times when someone didn't have kids and come to find out that person couldn't have kids. You know what I mean? So I have found in my experience that older people haven't came at me. They would just, "Oh, no kids? Okay." And you could see in their eyes or whatever that they were kind of like, but like they kind of a little more reserved. Whereas like people my age or younger, "You ain't got kids, and and not to mention, I think, older people didn't, have the internet. I don't know. I think those of us who've grown up with the internet or had the internet early on in our lives are a lot more likely to come at people on the internet. I'm generalizing here, but that's been my experience. But yeah, I definitely think older people, it was just expected, so they get surprised by it. But I like I said, I think they're a little more, they're different in how they come at you about it, in my experience. Hey, we got some more love coming through. We got all types of love coming through. 2BB, thank you. Super Chat Squad, 2BB, thank you. Said no kids and no house seems to give me some judgment. Keep bringing the good conversations to him. Hey, we'll definitely keep trying to bring good conversations. And I know exactly where you're coming from. The way I live my lifestyle, live an alternative lifestyle, doing things different than what people expect. Yeah, you get judgment. Um, Once again, I don't understand why. Like, it's like, as long as I'm surviving. Here's my thing. If I ain't got no kids, I can't be a deadbeat dad. You know what I mean? Like all these times we complain about people having responsibilities and not taking care of them, and then we turn around and jump on people who don't have those responsibilities. But it's just like, I think one of the things that makes us stronger in life is living a lifestyle that gets us a lot of eyebrow raises and a lot of judgment, and being able to live within that. You know what I mean? Being able to take that and keep going. Y'all not gonna make me change the way I live my life just because like y'all want to judge me. Because I made those decisions for a good reason, and those reasons are still good, they're still valid. So, you know, but yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Hey, thank you. SM Collie. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, mate, I got played by a former friend who told her boyfriend I was coming on to her to make him jealous. I felt betrayed. Almost. I'm gonna skip over that, but I know what you mean. Um, you helped me though through it. Thank you. Hey, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. First off, appreciate that love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So sorry to hear that. I'm glad you got through it. And if me or any of my content was helpful in that, I felt truly blessed, that it was able to help you like that. It's crazy. Um, it, Affairs of the heart are the hardest. Affairs of the heart are the hardest, and people you maybe have something for, or a deep friendship, or anything like that, we're betrayed. Especially when it like comes at our character, is very hard. Is very hard. So shout out to you for getting through it. You know what I mean? Because like you said, you could have gone down a dark path that ended badly for you. So like shout out to you, props to you for like coming through that. And then it's a matter of, sometimes the hardest things we go through in life taught us a lesson that like, what, yeah, it's kind of like, what can I get out of this? Didn't want to go through this. It sucked going through it. But like now, I'm a little more, discerning, a little more cautious. They're not getting me again. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I'm glad you pulled through. I'm glad you pulled through. You still here with us. That's, if someone wants to ruin a friendship and you were a genuine friend, uh, you know, that's their loss then. You know what I mean? Like, so you're probably better off without certain people and their boyfriends in your life. So, and thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that love. Thank y'all so much. We do abundance tonight. Abundance tonight. Let's go. I have not read any Nietzsche. I think I've watched some videos about it, but I haven't read any. Sorry, said life's not easy, but it can be simple. I respect that. I respect that. I mean, for me, living the simple life makes it easier. We'll say that. Lunita, I agree. We are very distracted. It's between work and bills and health insurance and yeah, no, just all this stuff with our social media feed, all this stuff, we are distracted. So yeah, we don't spend as much time thinking as we should, or as we probably used to. Nick, what up? Good to see you. I think the squirrels and the bird, like I don't know, like I've never been a squirrel or a bird, so like I don't know what they go through. So I don't even want to say they have an easy life, because there might be some real drama that goes into being a bird. Being a blue jay might be rough. You know what I mean? So like I prefer to just comment on my life. I don't mind living on easy street as much as possible. I don't mind, trying to live life on easy mode. Because to me, what that means is I don't bring unnecessary drama and stuff in my life. That's what it means. I'm not saying life is easy. I'm not saying life is easy. I'm just saying that, like, by the way, if you hear any noises or yelling, it's my room. It's not my roommate, excuse me. It's my neighbors upstairs. So if you hear them, some noises, them. I think they're gaming or something. But uh I'm not saying like life is easy. I'm just saying that like I try to make my life simpler and make it easier, you know. And I think that's where the disconnect is sometimes. Because if you say, "Oh, I'm trying to live on easy street," people are like, life is hard. It's like it is at times, but like I'm trying to once again, it comes back to like designing your life. It comes back to like crafting your life. I've seen times where I sat and I wrote things that I wanted to happen in my life, and I did it for months, and then like it happened. It came into my life. Things like that. Like I do things like that because I'm trying to design as much as possible an easier life. But I think a lot of times, yeah, we're just so distracted by like what's going on. Like we don't design. No one talks about life design. People do talk about manifestation, things like that, but like nobody's talking about like life design. We have, a lot of times we daydream or we say, man, it must be nice. But like, how often do we really sit down and write out or think out over a long period of time what we want our life to look like and then like go towards it? I think that's how you have an easier life. Kashif, what up? Okay, Zane, about to start living alone. Okay, 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 have fun. Every day's a gift. What up, what up, what up? About to head to the beach. Okay, get some of that sun. Get some of that sun. Hey, Chuck coming through. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chuck C Pass. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Cat Squad. Today's Tim, the easiest thing you should do this weekend is have some chicken wings on me. Thank you. I will do that. I will do that. I'll try to do that. The chicken wing place keeps canceling my order for some reason, but I will try to have some chicken wings. I will eat something good on you, no matter what. Said I moved a few weeks ago and got rid of a lot of things I didn't need, minimizing and child free in 2026 for the win. Yes, hope all is well. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Actually doing really well. Just got back from vacation, so I'm doing really well. So thank you, and yeah, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your minimizing. Enjoy your minimizing. Once again, you just feel so free. You know what I mean? Like the less you own, the more you own, the more things can own you. That's not saying everything you own owns you, but like it's another example of like even possessions could be bringing things into your life that make it more difficult. You know? So yeah, I'm with. I mean, if you could see my living room, it's bare. I'm gonna save that for a thumbnail one day. I'm gonna show y'all. Just I'm gonna have a good video and a good title, and the thumbnail is just gonna be my bare ass living room. Yeah, but like it's so often we make choices in life because everyone else around us does it, or like we think it's the just the blueprint, but it ends up actually complicating our lives, and that's why we're thinking life is so hard, so difficult, or when we get moments of like peace, or we get moments where like there's not a ton going on, we can't even enjoy it because we're like, where's the drama, where's the chaos, I need to be doing more. It's like, no, you can just enjoy your life as much as possible. It's okay, it's okay. But thank you so much, Chuck. I appreciate the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we got another Alvin coming through. Alvin Anthony coming through again. Today, Tim, many people have kids out of wedlock. It appears to me that people focus on more on having kids than getting married. Um, Super Chat Squad, thank you for the continued support. I mean, well, here my take on that, Alvin, is like I don't want kids or to get married, so I can't really have a strong opinion. Like I couldn't sit here and be like, yeah, you should be married before you have kids, because I don't want to do either. Nor do I necessarily, if we're being honest, think you have to. I think it's great when the kid has both parents around. And so if they're living in the same house together, that's awesome. But like that's as far as I'll take that. So yeah, I don't want kids or marriage. So and I mean honestly these days I don't know if I could fault people for not wanting to get married. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just like the double whammy. You get married and you have kids. Now you got all kind. I don't know. I'm not saying it's wrong. And if people want that, please go for it. Because I think parenthood and marriage is a beautiful thing for people who really want to be parents and partners, and married couples, spouses. I just don't think it's for everybody. And I think the statistics hold out. especially around marriage, that that's true. But yeah, me personally, like I can't really say anything about anybody, you know, when they have kids or whether or not they get married. Personally, I appreciate the love though. Thank you. What up, Brent? Get a Yorkie? Oh, I'm good. Mama niggas, the house is overrated. Thanks, Ace. I see you later, Kenny. Chris, 576 days sober. Let's go. Let's go. Shark, I'm actually back home. I'm actually back in Montana. I did go down to Mexico City though. Yeah. I was gonna do some videoing down there, and then I forgot my memory stick. My memory card. And I could have done it on my phone, but I don't know. I just felt like being on vacation. You know what I mean? So I did a couple shorts in the park. But yeah, I went down. I'd been to Mexico a few times before, 3 times before, but I'd never been to Mexico City, and I like to go to the capital cities of countries that I visit. So went down to Mexico City, me and a good friend. So yeah. That was fun. That was fun. So yeah, that's what the Delta out the window was like, in flying over mountains or something in Mexico. I thought it was a pretty sight, so I filmed it. But yeah, I'm back home now, back in Montana. Hey, Jacob, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much, Jacob. Let me give you a like on that. Said, great message today, Tim. I feel like 2026 is going to be a year of kindness. Let's be kind to one another. I'm with you on that, Jacob. I honestly feel like we're going through things, you know what I mean? And I do think there's that possibility that like we can start to realize that we're like all going through things, and we start to appreciate each other more and start being kinder to each other and being more loving to each other. I do think that's a possibility on the back end of just kind of a lot of the stuff we're going through or possibly might go through here soon. So yeah, I'm with you. Let's just be kind, bro. And stuff like that just makes life so much more enjoyable. Just being kind, just being nice. You know, someone just saying a kind word when you don't expect it can make a mediocre day amazing, or someone saying a kind word when you need it can make a bad day okay. So I'm with you on that, Jacob. Like, let's just be kind. Let's just be kind. Even if you don't have any other type of resolution or anything like that, any other goals, let's just be kind to one another. Thank you, Jacob. I'm with see, that's what we need. But just kindness, bro. Just be nice to people. Say hello. Hold doors for people. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate all the love, all the abundance. Thank you. I feel like where am I in the chat? Okay. Yeah, Greg, we back. Good to see you. G Ward, much love. How you doing? Oh, Kim, that's awesome. Said I started watching your content to become sober. I'll be 5 years sober this April. Go talk. Sorry. Thank you, Tim. You're truly inspirational. I really enjoy your views on life, love, and everything. That's awesome. That is awesome. I put myself out of breath going talk. Kim, that is awesome. And I'm very happy for you. Congratulations on that. And it means the world to me, if my content played a small part in that. So like, that's amazing. Like, that's awesome, Kim. Thanks for sharing. And congratulations, man. 5 years is an amazing milestone. Like that's bro. We here. Supernatural Black Life. Happy Cold Day. That's today, Cold Day. Is that a real holiday? Do I believe marriage is an institution? I don't know what that's asking. What do you mean, Becky? I mean, marriage is an institution, but like, what do you mean by that? Jay quit, exactly. Like a lot of times we're busy just for the sake of saying we're busy. We're just filling the time we feel we need to. Like if you want to be busy, do things you want to do. make yourself busy making a better life. You know what I mean? Like so many people just always ripping it. But I'm like, what are you actually doing? Yeah, it's like if I'm gonna be busy, I'm gonna be doing something I want to do. If I don't have anything I want to do and there's nothing like I need to do, I'm chilling, bro. Like I'm chilling hard, chilling. I see Angela down there in the chat. How you doing, Angela? Here in a second, I gotta go check my laundry. What up? What's up, Montana Slacks? What up? Matt said, I like my simple life, cup of coffee, sunrise, front porch, makes you happy. Exactly. When you have like simple likes, and those are things that you can do pretty much every single day of your life, and it can bring you joy every single day of your life. Those are the things I appreciate in life too. Hey, the dude, 333. Glad you're on the sobriety train, and you're welcome about the videos. Yeah, Lewis, Montana is amazing. I've been here many times. I think total I've probably lived in Montana 4 years now, maybe 3 or 4 years, 4 to 5 years total, off and on. So yeah. So Montana, you checking it from Madrid? Nice. There's Angela. Seeger, you about to retire in 1 year? Congratulations. Let's go. What up, Shawnee? Angela's about to play a little pool. Okay. Angela going to the pool hall. Okay, behave. Oh, Matt, 13 years sobriety in 2026. Nice, nice. I like that, Ricky. By the way, good to see you, Ricky. Our primary purpose is to help people. If we can't help them, at least don't hurt them. I like that. I like that. Oh, yeah. Becky, I do think like I'm all for true love. I'm all for like finding your person, spending your life with them if you want to. I do have an issue with like that part of marriage. The fact that like the government gets involved and you have to sign paperwork and like if I want to dissolve it, suddenly it's a big deal and I have to pay expensive lawyers. You know what I mean? So like yeah, that part of and that's one of the reasons I'm like I don't want to get married because like it just becomes this totally different thing. Like why do like and if you want to get married, I totally understand. But for me, it's just like if I meet somebody and me and her get along, let's just get along for as long as we get along. Why do we have to like make it legal like a fit like I just don't understand that personally. Hey, Lonely Girl TV, what up? Good to see you. Will you change your picture again? It's an anime and in the building. Hey, good to see you. It's been a minute. What you been up to? I didn't even know that was you. I feel like you're because that's because you had the totally black background before. Yeah, for a while. Yeah. It didn't even register that was you. When I saw your little picture up there. So good to see you. Good to see you. Super Cat Squad. Thank you. How you been? I was talking about you the other day. In a good way. James, yeah, I believe in choice. I believe in free will. What do you mean by choice? I believe in free will. Yeah, Dennis, the system wants us working 8 to 8 if it could. 4150. I think as with all things, I think video games can be good and I think they can be bad. Like, if all you do is play video games and you don't, spend time with your husband or your kids or your dogs or go to work, well then if playing video games is ruining your life, then you're using it in a bad way. But I think if you enjoy playing video games and you play video games and it makes you happy, then that's good, So I don't like to blanketly write anything off as good or bad. I mean, it's kind of how you use most things, how you use it in your life. Antoinette, how you doing? Oh, you meant to say abundance. I wondered what you meant by anime Andy in the building. I thought maybe that was something new for you. Lonely Girl TV. I didn't know what you might have had. Abundant. Okay, that makes more sense. I feel better. Thank you. I feel better. I wouldn't doubt Angela's a pool shark. I wouldn't doubt it. And it's about time to pay the rent. Angela, Angela got to get down there and make a little rent money. I mad at you. Pool hustling a little rent. I mess with you, Angela. I mess with you. Nick, oh, life been a little funky. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Glad the stream could lift you up. Hope you, yeah, you know how this goes, Nick. You can be back up soon, brother. You know it. You know it. Zane, it honestly, my first Montana winter, which was like my first real winter. Um, I bitched and moaned all summer to anyone who would listen about how scared I was. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like in Florida, we don't have proper winter clothing. In Montana, they do. So like you just have to buy enough clothes that you are warm, you know? So it wasn't really that bad. Like things like walking in the snow or walking on ice, that's the type driving in that type of those conditions, that's the real adjustment. But as far as like the actual cold, you just put on a layers or like a bigger coat, you know. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, give me a few minutes. I got to run up and grab my laundry. I'll be right back. Okay, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Hold on. We back. Okay. I had to do that. I've been forgotten. My laundry be sitting up there all night. All right. Where were we? Okay. What were we talking? Am I reconsidering getting a vehicle? You know, maybe this summer. And like I said, it's always just kind of a in the moment. You know what I mean? Like it's never really. I'm never getting a car again. It's just kind of like I don't want a car right now. So like I definitely don't want to be driving in these winter streets up here in Montana. Up and down these mountains and hills and no. So um, I probably definitely won't get one this winter, but maybe this summer. I don't know. Like car prices do seem to be going down. I have looked at some, and car prices seem to be going down. So, which I said was going to happen, by the way. When people kept telling me, "Oh, prices just keep going up," I was like, "Car prices are going to start going down. You'll see," and they are. But maybe this summer, who knows, or maybe not. It just kind of depends on how I feel this summer. Where we at? My favorite seasonal job. I really don't do favorites, but I will say I went back to the YMCA of the Rockies probably the most. So that says something. Yeah. So even though I probably won't ever go back. Lucas, a believer in what? Angela, you're not playing for money? You missing out on an opportunity? Austria in the building. What up, Arthox? I like that name, Arthox. Yeah, F Doctor. I was on vacay down in Mexico, but I'm back home now. Oh, Nick, you gonna find the. You know the game, you know, you'll find the right job for you, you know, something that's in walking distance is something you want to do. And like me, I'm a firm believer in writing it all out. Like I said, I've done that in the past. Like seasonally, it's like I want my next seasonal job to have this, and I just kept writing it out, and then one day it happened. So, and two, I think even if it's not I do think it taps us into like universal power, but also it keeps it at the forefront of our minds. If I keep telling myself I want a job that's in walking distance, it's this that pays this much, I'm more likely to go after that as opposed to just going after anything. Because I'm like, oh no, I told myself I wanted this. So if something else is offered and like I don't have to take it, I'm probably not going to because I've already told myself that's not what I want. Right. So a lot of times we think about it from not saying you are, but I'm just saying a lot of times we think about it from the standpoint of like, oh, this is what I want, but I'll never get it. And I think it's better to think about it from the standpoint of this is what I want and I'm going to get it. It's the same thought, but like different. So good luck. Exactly. Lucas. Am I a believer? Oh, you mean am I a believer in God? Yes, 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 yes. Rich Rad, Tyler Ford. When it's cold out or snowy, I'll do Uber Eats. I deleted my DoorDash app a while back, so I have Uber because I use Uber a lot when I'm traveling and even sometimes here. So I'll do Uber Eats sometimes. Yeah. I see you, Lonely Girl TV. I'm liking that evening schedule. Feeding your 4 animals, floss your teeth, shower, go to the gym, read the Bible, say a prayer. Okay, okay. Do you. Have fun. Cairo, how you doing? Said I'm subscribed. I appreciate you letting me know. We here. Corey Cummins, thank you. Super Cat Squad, thank you. I appreciate the support. TGIF, good to see you too. Thank you. I appreciate the continued support. Thank you. Vince says, as a dismissive, avoidant introvert who really loves his solitude and autonomy, how do you see that in regards to relationship? I'm struggling, leaning towards being alone because it just feels right to me. Vince, I would say just be alone then. I think we've been taught to think we need to be in a relationship, but I think if it just feels right or like it feels easier, just give yourself permission to like be alone. Here's what I would say. And this is what I've said for myself. I've given myself permission to never date again, but I'm also open to dating again. So like I'm just gonna do me and be by myself, which is a lot more comfortable for me. And if a woman comes along and like knocks me off my feet and I'm like, I have to date her and she's open to dating me, then I'll date. But until then, I'm good. I think in life, a lot of times, partially because of like the judgment we get from people when we're single, but I think also because of like the programming, we feel like we have to be dating, we have to be in a relationship. But it's like, no, like if being by yourself feels better, just do that. Like you'll know. I've found from my experience when it was time for me to, date or be in a little situationship for a little bit, like I knew, you know. I meet lots of women and it's like, and it's nothing against them. I'm always saying, I know some truly amazing women. That's why it's kind of funny when people are like, oh, you'll meet a good woman one day. I'm like, I know lots of good women, like genuinely. I know some amazing women. It's just not that situation between it's not that between us as far as dating or taking it any further. But like, and it's not because there's anything wrong with me or wrong with them. It's just not that fit. You'll know when it's that fit. Yeah, no. So like, I would just say until then, and until someone comes along and you don't even question whether or not you want to date, you're just like, Don't do that. Don't do that when you see her or him. Don't- but you know what I mean? Until someone comes along and you're just like, I don't care about all this avoided, dismissive. Nah, I'm trying to house. You know what I mean? Until then, like, just be alone. Like, I think we just put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We start thinking about dating and being with somebody when we're not even lonely at the moment, or we're not, you know what I mean? Like, we're not even worried about it. Like, so yeah, I'm just like, I'm open to never dating again. I'm open to dating again. So no pressure, no pressure. Okay, yeah. We're just gonna do a timeout on that one because people asking. Hey, nice to meet you too, Carol. Thank you. What have you been doing to stay productive and not concentrate on the weather in the area? I work. I watch a lot of reaction videos and I watch a lot of gameplay videos. And I'm playing this game called Icarus. So, though I don't really look at it as being productive, I'm just living my life. Um, I don't feel the need to be productive. Like I tell you, I stare at the monitor watching Code Carnage play Arc Raiders for hours. It was like 5 hours the other day. I don't feel the need to be productive. I'm just living my life, but it does help to concentrate and to keep my mind off the weather. Yes, but I don't feel the need to be productive. You know, Jackie, you worked at the Rockies, YMCA, the Rockies, 2 years in a row. It is a nice experience. Like yeah, there are some really good people at the YMCA of the Rockies. I will say that forever. I met some amazing people there. Yeah. Voice. I've had people ghost me or not really interact with me on the level I thought we were going to. Um, and yeah, it kind of hurts. But then I had to realize that like, A, I've probably done it to people and maybe didn't mean to. And B, like, there's no law that says anyone has to be my friend or like anyone has to stay in communication with me the way I think they should. So, like I said, it hurt. And I mean, I might have felt some type of way, but like at the end of the day, the problem was with me. Like that person's just living their life. Or maybe they had a good reason. They was like, I ain't talking to Tim no more because XYZ. Maybe I didn't know what XYZ was, but like obviously they had a reason. Or maybe they just got busy. So like I realized the problem was on my end, that I was just kind of hurt that somebody didn't want to, someone that I wanted to spend more time with didn't, or someone I would have liked to communicate with more didn't want to. So so I think sometimes in life, you just have to wear it, like it just kind of hurt until it didn't hurt anymore, but there's not really anything. A lot of times we ask in life how we handle things and there's nothing to really handle, you know? Usually I can kind of, if I can wrap my head around what's happened, then it's just like, oh, I just have to deal with the pain. Like, yeah, I just admit it. This kind of hurts right now. And then, you give it a few weeks or a few months and like you've accepted it doesn't hurt anymore. And then, you just kind of move on. Alvin, I have not read the scriptures cover to cover, but I've read a lot of the scriptures. Yeah, when I was younger. So that's what I'm always saying. Like when people try to go Bible with me, I'm like, even though it's been some decades, please come correct with it. Because your boy used to be, 3 times a week, door knocking on Saturdays. I'm a little kid talking to the Bible with adults, you know what I mean? For many years, for, the first 20 some years of my life. So like, your boy's read the scriptures, and I think that I was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day. We're talking about the Bible. We have different views on, God and other things, but like I'm able to hold my own in a conversation like that because I have read the Bible. Whereas I think a lot of people argue for or against the Bible who've never read it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Oh, wait, A. Williams said, I listen to the Greyhound videos to help you fall asleep. Okay, okay. Hey, however interacting with the videos is helpful for you, I'm happy about it. You know, there's a guy, Christopher Odd. He's a gamer. Yeah, if I can't sleep, or like if I know I might have a struggle to sleep, if I put Christopher Odd on, it don't matter what the game it is. You know what game it is? Yeah, I'll doze right off. I'll doze right off. So I get it. I get it. Oh, it's all good. I mean, yeah, I'll say this, Lonely Girl TV. Um, Even though you're joking, you could be true. That could be true. Who knows? That might have been true. If I wasn't such an introvert and you wasn't bipolar, who knows? We might be married right now. You're a very beautiful woman. So who knows? Who knows? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And you're awesome. And I like your personality. And you're funny. But, we both have our stuff. We both have our stuff. That was funny. That was funny. Appreciate you livening things up. You say, get too serious. Let me say something. That's the Lonely Girl TV we all know and love. Let's go. Oh, you trying to finish the Bible this year? You're on Samuel? Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think just me, I think the Old Testament is like harder to get through because it's just like a lot of like history. And it's not all the most fascinating history. You know, a lot of times just the whole Testament is hard. Well, for me, it was harder because it's just like, what am I reading? How many people begat other people? But like you get into the New Testament, it gets a little more, I don't know, a little more litty. But yeah, I mean, it's all the Bible, But yeah, good luck with that goal. Adventurers, what up? Chantel checking in. Made it to Quartzsite. Okay, okay. Hanging in the introvert camp. Where you text the camera next to you. Hey, I gotta make a note of that. Make a note of that. That's where I need to go. The introvert camp. Nice, nice. Glad you made it. Glad you're having fun. Why do I feel like my friggin' thing is? Oh, I know what it might be. I feel like my thing is lagging. I thought I'd fix this. Did I? Let me see something. No, that ain't it. I'll have to deal with that. I'll do it for next time. A. Williams, I'll answer the question, but I will say it bothers me when people give me orders. So for you to be like, don't lie, I would prefer if people just ask, because like I don't lie, but like if I wanted to, couldn't nobody tell me not to? But I'll answer the question. No, I did not smoke weed during my Greyhound bus breaks. Like I don't. If I had, I would have said, like, I'm not trying to get high on Greyhound. Like, I don't even smoke weed like that. I never did. Like, even back when I smoked weed, I didn't smoke weed like that. Like, if we was all chilling and drinking and somebody had it, cool. But like, nah, when I'm on the bus or something, nah, bro. Even back then, I wouldn't have probably smoked on a trip. Nah. Not to mention, I don't know. I ain't taking weed for some rando on the Greyhound bus. Trying to lace that, get me? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I'm chilling. I didn't do nothing on Greyhound but travel. For real. Waiting for the Jesus part. When Jesus show up, you got a few more books before Jesus show up. I'm not gonna hold you. You got a while for Jesus show up. You got a while before Paul got to show up first. Saul/Paul got to show up first. You got a while for Jesus show up. Keep reading though. It's a good book. Good book. Good book. I travel with the Bible and a copy of the Tao Te Ching. Good book. But you got a lot more to go before the Lord show up. See, y'all didn't know that. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know where Jesus is at the Bible. Y'all ain't read it. You don't know the Bible books. I do. Okay. Heavenly, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing? Sweetheart. Nikki Lee's got a question. Said, my boyfriend is a minimalist and he and you are both inspiring to me. He is struggling at the moment with no purpose and no goal. Any advice? I get that. First off, sorry to hear you're struggling. Shout out to your boyfriend. Um, I think, and I'm taking my time answering this because like I want to give a good answer. A lot of times people ask about purpose and goals. I think people just shoot off answers. Like I have been in places in life, felt the same way. Um, I like in order to be like truly happy, there has to be something in your life that's like bringing it meaning. Um, I think it helps to be have something you're working towards, possibly. But what I think happens is, for whatever reason, the things that do that for us sometimes, like sometimes we might go through a funk or something, and the things that a year ago brought us meaning that might still be in our lives aren't doing it for us. Because like if you think about it, some of the times when we're the most happy, it wasn't like we had some amazing purpose in our life. You know what I mean? It wasn't that just like, oh, I discovered this and now my life's great. A lot of our happiest moments, I know for me, are the basic stuff. I was just hanging out with my friends, or like, you know what I mean? Or like, I really, you know, was enjoying work for whatever. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, and I think sometimes when we're just like, oh, what's my purpose? What am I doing here? For some reason, some of those things aren't, we're not connecting with some of those things as much. So sometimes I think it's not so much that we need to find something new as maybe we can try to figure out like what happened, you know, why is, me having this amazing girlfriend and, living in my dream home or having the job I want or having these amazing kids. Like, why are the things that a year ago brought me joy and happiness and I was content? Why am I not content now? Like, what has anything changed? And sometimes I think we just go through things, sometimes it's just, I think that's just life. And I know for me, a lot of times I just had to like stay the course. It wasn't that like I had to go out and find something. It just was like I had to just keep going. And then things went back the way they were. Like I woke up one day and I was just kind of like, oh, I'm enjoying life again. Or something did shift. But like, I don't know. I don't know if we always have to, if we're like, I'm feeling like I don't have any purpose. I don't know if we have to go out and find a purpose, because I personally don't know if I believe we have a purpose. I just think like something has to start feeling meaningful again, you know? And sometimes it's just, maybe something just changed and the things that brought us meaning before aren't doing it now, but that doesn't mean they won't again. So sometimes we just have to kind of like stay the course. Sometimes the struggle, the test we have to pass is like, can you just keep getting up and doing what you're doing every day until the clouds clear? As opposed to like, oh, I have to figure this out, Though on the other hand, maybe if we aren't living life at the level we want to live it, maybe if we aren't doing a lot of the things that like we feel we would rather be doing, maybe we do need to try some of those. So I think it could be either. It could be like, okay, maybe there is something that like if I brought it into my life, maybe could change things. But I also think sometimes it's just a matter of we might be in a little funk, and so it seems like there's no point. But it's not that we don't already have things in our life that give it meaning and fulfillment and purpose. It's just for some reason we're kind of disconnected from them. But like that could change, you know, or you turns around tomorrow and your boyfriend, an old friend, moves back to town and they start hanging out and it's great again. So it's like I think sometimes life works it out for us, and we look up 6 months later and be like, man, that was rough beginning of last year, but like I'm good now. So that was my advice, is like stay the course, get through it. But also, yeah, if you're looking around and maybe some of the thoughts or ideals you've had in the past of things you wanted to do that maybe haven't done, try some of those and like just see what happens. You know, hope that was helpful. I feel like I kind of rambled there. It's a hard question, but that's the best I can do. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. And I hope and I believe things will switch for your boyfriend. I genuinely do. Michael, what up? Michael Lyons, how you doing? Chantel, y'all not believe me about this introvert thing. Yeah, when people tell you you're living your life wrong, lonely girl, just tell them like, hey, I ain't got to the Jesus part of the book yet. After that, talk to me. I ain't got to that part of the book yet. I'm struggling through Samuel. Shout out to Samuel. I do not think the Greyhound will ever get better, Alvin, because there's no incentive for it. I said years ago, whoever bought Greyhound would probably buy it for the property. And I haven't really looked into Greyhound recently, and I forgot who bought it. Did Flixbus buy it? And I think they have. Yeah, Flixbus bought it. I'm pretty sure, and they made some improvements, but like it's like taking a horrible business model and like trying to fix it. You'd be better off just starting another bus company. Greyhound is what it is. And I think you can just kind of keep running it where it's at, maybe make a few improvements. But like the major problems with Greyhound are like systemic. Like you'd have to totally start over. For example, it's hard to find drivers. It's Greyhound. How you gonna change that? You know, you'd have to get new passengers to get better. You know what I mean? You'd have to pay just so much money, which they're not going to do. Or you'd have to have like new passengers. But it's great, so like I think it could get incrementally better, but I think Greyhound's going to be Greyhound just because like it's been Greyhound so long. And there's really not that much more profit if you make a better bus company. The buses are still packed. Everybody knows, well, most people know Greyhound's horrible. The buses are still packed because they have a guaranteed customer base, people who can't afford to travel any other way or who don't want to fly. You know what I mean? So like, or people who just need to get to a certain city where there's no train or there's no near airport, which is most of America. You know what I mean? So like, they have a built-in customer base. So why would they totally transform it just to make a little more profit? You know? So I think Greyhound's just gonna be Greyhound. Um, Now if I'm open to riding a good bus line, so if someone like there's buses that I want to ride, I just haven't had the chance. There's trains I want to ride that I haven't got to. So I'm open to good transportation, but I just don't think Greyhound will be it. Heavily checking in from Croatia. Okay. Michelle, I haven't thought about doing a retreat because I'm a pretty introverted person, and I just don't think that's my lane. Um, yeah, I just you know don't think that'd be something that would work. Would bring me joy, but a lot of other people do it. Real driver, what up? Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right, Nikki. Like so much of if we don't stop and look at our lives, so much of what we do will be based on those beliefs and ideas that other people, like you said, big house, big car, this, that. But like those don't always, those are like all of us can't be the same, right? So obviously, all of us can't want a huge house, right? We're all different. Some people would love a huge house. Other people, it's a pain. There's people right now with huge houses who hate it, but like they felt that was the right thing to do, or like that's what their mate wanted. You know what I mean? So, or that's what everyone around them has, so they thought it was what you're supposed to have. But like, so it's just like I think the more we live our life based on what brings me peace, what brings me joy, what brings me happiness, what brings me contentment, what do I like to do? Like the happier we are, You know, it seems very simple, but we're not taught that. So like it's almost a profound thought the day we figure that out, and we're just like, oh, I'm happier if I do the things that make me happy. Okay, all right, you know. Yeah, Nick, and you know, hey, shout out to the fact you got to girlfriend see on the weekends. But yeah, I think that's a natural part of life. I think there are times when we feel a little disconnect, like it's all ebb and flow. You know what I mean? The waves go in, the waves go out. And so I think there's some times where just us being friends and you know sharing your story. I've seen, there's been times when you were locked in and things going amazing, blah 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 blah. And then I think there's other times where it's just like, yeah, right now I don't really know what I'm doing, feeling disconnected from my purpose. And then, fast forward 4, 5, 6 months or something like that, you're back in that zone and you're feeling it again. And I think it's a good life when the locked in times outweigh the not locked in times. And like, I think they usually do, but like, yeah, I think, I don't know. Like, I think that's just part of this thing we call life is we go through those moments. And maybe it's to help us to appreciate the good moments when we are locked in more, or maybe there's some lessons we need to learn so we can lock in later. Like, I don't know. But I think that's just a natural part of life. Pretty much everybody I know goes through those. And it is really good when you have good friends or a partner or somebody who can help you through those times, because I genuinely believe it is just about getting through those times. It's like a lot of times we're on the right road, you know, we're on the right road. It's just we go through a weird patch where there's no cell signal. So we can't, you know what I mean? There's no signal. So we can't, you know, receive, what we normally receive in. But you keep driving on that lonely canyon road, and like cell signal comes back, and like you're back in tune with your goals or your purpose, whatever you want to call it. So I think it's kind of like that. It's like we're on the right road. It's just we lose signal for a while. And if you just stop, then you'll never get signal back because you're in a signalless spot. But if we just keep going, I think eventually we get back. Signal comes back, and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is my life. This is what I do. The movie Mystic. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much. Said, how do you feel about living in a room in an Airbnb? Is it safe? Give me 1 second. It's a great question. I think it can be safe, yes. And I think if you do your due diligence and you get an Airbnb in the good part of town, the safe part of town, you read your reviews. Me personally, I don't go less than like a 4.8 out of 5. I might, if I look and there's a review that just one person was just being, if everybody else gave them a 5 and one person gave them a 1, so they have like a 4.73 now or something, that's different. But like I only stay in places with really good reviews, 4.8 or higher typically. I get on Google Maps and I look and I make sure it's a good part of town, and things of that nature. So, and especially, and I communicate with if I got questions, I just ask the the host before I even book. You can talk to the host. So if I got questions, I'll ask. And then I judge based on how quickly they respond, what they say, whether I believe them. But yeah, I think I've stayed in. I can't even tell you how many Airbnbs I've stayed in all over the country. All over the country, I've stayed in Airbnbs outside the country, and the majority of the time, I've had good experiences because I kept to those rules. So yeah, I've been saying this for a while. Like, instead of paying rent, you might be able to find a cheaper Airbnb. And the beauty of an Airbnb is like some of them you can do monthly. So some of them might have a cap where it's like, oh, 3 months is as long as you can stay. Other people don't care. Maybe it's 6 months. But it's like instead of having to pay a security deposit and be locked in a lease, you can rent, a room in somebody's house, and all you need is a first month's rent, and then it's month to month or however many months you book. So like, I don't know why more people don't go that route. Not to mention, maybe after 3 months, you want to be somewhere else. This idea of like having a lease for 12 to 15 months and you're locked in that place. I mean, it's the same question about apartments. Is it safe to live? Live some apartments ain't safe. And of course, like if you're going to be renting a room, doing Airbnb in someone's home, yeah, maybe ask even more questions and try to get a feel for that person even more. But yeah, I mean, the good thing about Airbnb is there are so many reviews. So if the person's a little whatever, or it's a bad neighborhood or anything unsafe, and I try to find Airbnbs that have a decent amount of reviews. If you just have 2 reviews and they're both like, "Great stay," I don't know. You know what I mean? Why does it feel like my thing is lagging again? Um, but yeah, I think Airbnb can be very safe. I've had 95% amazing Airbnb stays, and some of them were truly amazing, like places where I'm like, "Man, I could stay here forever." So yeah, I definitely say look into it. A lot of people don't even look into it, but I definitely say before you sign that next lease, even in your own city, see like if there's something on Airbnb that like, maybe you'd rather stay there. I have found that like I can stay in a better Airbnb than I can rent. You know what I mean? From my money level and my budget, a lot of times in most places I think I can get a better furnished Airbnb than the cost of what it would take me to get an apartment, furnish it, pay all the bills. Like it came out better. Like I was living at a better standard of living getting an Airbnb as opposed to trying to do it myself. And thank you for the abundance. I appreciate that. Does Greyhound have accidents? Yeah, I mean, all forms of traffic has accidents. Greyhound has accidents. Amtrak has accidents. Planes crash. So yeah, yeah, yeah. 585. Amtrak is amazing. Yeah, take that Amtrak trip. Tommy, what up? Uh, Concern. Yeah, I don't have much Bitcoin, but I'm holding it. I mean, the conversation now is gold and silver. Like precious metals is the conversation now. So, I mean, that's the big question. When to sell, when to hold. Because this is crazy what metals are doing now. So, I mean, like, yeah, I got a little bit of Bitcoin and I'm holding it. Honestly, the Bitcoin, I think for me from now on, my Bitcoin play is just to throw a few dollars at it here and there and just hold on to it indefinitely. And then if one day Bitcoin goes to 500,000 or something, sell it. Like it'd have to be a big move. But honestly, right now, like I'm really not even paying that much attention to big. I just, throw a few dollars at it here and there. Like, you know, Pay dividend facts. Live in the size of the house that works for you. Some people get as big a house as the bank will let them get. It's not a matter of like, do we need this much? It's like, how much can we get? And like, hey, if that's how you choose to do it, do it. But like, then, the bigger the house, the more power, heating, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm with you. I'd like a small dwelling. Rebel, I feel you, and I think that's why the one of the things that the internet is so good for is that like pre-internet, if family and friends like didn't understand you, you didn't really have anybody else to talk to unless you could find a pen pal somewhere. Uh, but like now, you can hop on the internet and find communities of like-minded individuals and you can, talk to them without sounding crazy. And a lot of times the things we're trying to do aren't that crazy. It's just that people, through no fault of their own, have been programmed to believe they're crazy, or they've been programmed to believe anything outside the norm is crazy. But yeah, a lot of it's like, man, I don't, want to do wild, crazy stuff. Like I just would rather do this or do that. And people are just like, what? You can't do that. So that's one thing I love about the internet is it has brought me, and I know some people in real life who we think similarly, but honestly, I don't think I would have met them if it wasn't for the internet. Like I would have never done seasonal work if it wasn't for the internet. So like, because I found out about it from someone on the internet. So, or as people that reached out to me via the internet and we became friends. So like, that's not to say my friends back home aren't good friends, but they don't think along the lines of like all this stuff I talk about now. So like the friends I have in my life now that like, we have similar mindsets. If it wasn't for the internet, I probably would never have met them. So like I love the internet for that is like you can find your tribe. Your tribe these days doesn't have to be, you know, your family or your neighbors or the people you went to school with or the people you work with. You can have a tribe all over the world. Jade says, I'm 39 years old. I plan to not have children, but I'm afraid to regret in the future. What is your point of view? Why do you think you would regret it in the future? Um, I mean, I'm not coming, just seriously, like what scenario do you see happening in the future? And you're like, you know what I mean? What's a regret scenario in the future? Because I think a lot of it is just stuff people have told us, you know? And here's like, I look at it this way too. And I'll read your answer if you choose to answer and we can talk about it. But I look at it this way too. I'm a big boy, right? I'm a grown man. If I turn 50 or I turn 60 and suddenly I regret not having kids, well, I'll just have to live with it. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it. Like, I don't think I'll regret it because I don't want kids. And I really can't envision a scenario where like I would suddenly be like, oh, I should have had kids. But even if I did, I'll just live with it. I'm not gonna do something now that I don't want to do because I'm scared I'll regret it in the future. I'm much more afraid of not doing things now that I want to do and regretting it in the future. You know, I'm worried about. I gotta check my stream. I don't know why it's acting up. My stream seems like it's anyway. Actually, let me try something. Hopefully, this doesn't crash the stream. Hold on. How do I turn this on? Hang on 1 second. Try that. Okay. Is that any better? I don't know. Seems like it's still hiccup. Anyway, we're gonna keep talking for a while. I'm much more worried about things that I know I want to do, not doing, and then regretting not doing them than I am things that I don't think I want to do, not doing them and regretting them. You know what I mean? Because like if like for example, I don't want kids now. If 20 years from now I regret that, I'm not mad at myself because I'm like, I didn't want, you know what I mean? Like in the moment, I didn't want them. So that's why I didn't have them. I'm much more worried about things I know I want to do. And possibly I'm not doing them because I'm scared. 20 years, I will be mad at myself because I'm like, Tim, you know you wanted to do it and you didn't do it. So those are the things I worry